Hi, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. I am Jamie Steele, the owner of Tidy Your Time in Pflugerville, Texas. I help overwhelmed individuals tidy their time and their tech so they can be more productive. If you're watching, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know that you're here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. If you couldn't catch the live and you're watching either the replay or on YouTube, you can always leave a question in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. So today we're going to talk about student goal setting. This is really going to be helpful for anybody setting goals, but really my examples are going to be specific to students. Before we get started, I do want to talk to you about, we're coming up on my event, Where Does Time Go, in collaboration with Angels Fight Crew. Angels Fight Crew is a nonprofit in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that helps displaced children by supplying school supplies, holiday gifts, and other supplies that are needed throughout the year. It's $20. 50% of the proceeds are going to Angels Fight Crew. So I hope to see some of you there. It's going to be full of tips on how to manage your time, your energy, your calendar, and your tasks. So let's start talking about students and goal setting. Do your students set goals? That's the question of the day in the group is, do your students set goals? And I answered that question with a resounding no. My student does not set goals. We talk about goal setting and planning, but I think because he's hearing it from his mom, that it's hard to understand why goal setting is important and how it works. So most of my success with students has come from organizing not my child. So I hope this will help you talk to your students about how to set goals. You'll hopefully have a little more luck. If not, then maybe having another friend talk to them about goal setting, and we'll talk about using a planner and things like that to set goals as well. So setting a goal is a great way for a student to stay motivated. Some goal setting examples for students are that they could set a goal for studying for a certain number of hours a week or writing in their planner each day. Writing in their planner each day. What you want to do is have your student think about good habits that they want to cultivate and have them start with those as goals. And the good habits could be, like I said, studying for a certain number of hours a week for a course, or it could be attaining a certain GPA average. There are long-term goals and short-term goals, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. It's just that goal setting really helps your student have a growth mindset, and this is why we're going to discuss 10 tips to help your students set goals so they can really achieve that growth mindset. So some examples and areas of goal setting, this is just as relevant to adults as it is to students. Social, exercise, healthy eating, family, community, hobbies, screen time, long-term goals. I think a lot of us can relate to that screen time, maybe setting goals about how often we are using our phones or on our laptops. So the 10 tips for achieving your goals is first to set a goal that motivates. Goals need to be just right, not too hard, not too easy, or you'll put off taking the steps needed to achieve the goal. If a goal feels too big, break it down into smaller goals. You want your goals to be achievable. If you make your goal too easy, you may become bored with it. As humans, we tend to like challenge. So keep your goals attainable, but still challenging, and that's going to help you maintain interest. The second tip is to set SMART goals. We've talked about SMART goals a couple of times over the month of January. We've really been focusing on goal setting. And a SMART goal, again, stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So when we break that down, we start thinking about goals, when we start thinking about goals, we tend to think in broad strokes. Like, I want to get an A in math class, or I want to lose weight. That's a broad stroke. For a student, it may be doing well on a report card. The word well leaves a lot to the imagination. We don't know what that means to that student. That could be, for that particular student, getting a B average instead of an A average. It's really, you need honing in on what your goals are specifically is going to help you to attain them. A specific goal will answer the questions of who, what, when, where, and why. Measuring your goals is a great way to stay motivated. To measure a goal, you may need to set up trackers. You could do this in your planner. I think a goal of writing in your planner is every day is an amazing goal to have. I try and do that for myself every day. But you can set up a tracker in your planner, or just a notebook that you have, or an Excel spreadsheet, or on a paper calendar. And mark off every time you achieve a habit, every time you achieve a habit that's related to the goal. If it's drinking water, if you drank your 8 glasses of water for the day, you could put an X on the calendar and then not break the chain. So seeing that X accumulating throughout the weeks and the months, trying not to break that chain is a great way to stay motivated to achieve the goal. A goal has to be achievable. A goal may not be attainable without further study or training. So it's a good idea when you set your goals to think about your strengths and the obstacles and to plan for them. We went over that in the WOOP goal setting, if you caught the earlier lives. That's wish, objective, obstacle, plan, I think. I am having a hard time remembering what one of those O's is, are. If your knowledge is lacking in a specific area that you need to attain a goal, take steps to gain that knowledge and account for it in your plan. So maybe that becomes more of a long-term goal if you need extra study and training to achieve the goal. Relevant, that means that the goal pertains to what you are doing in your life and align with your big picture goals. So if you have an interest in art, if you've never had an interest in art, then setting a goal to draw a lifelike portrait is not really a relevant goal. And the time bound means you have deadlines. The goal is achievable in a specific amount of time. Be careful not to set your goal too far in the future, or you may lose interest. This happens to me. So if I set annual goals, I tend to lose interest in them. So I have moved to setting quarterly goals. I have bigger overarching goals that I'm trying to attain, and those quarterly goals will help me get there by the end of the year. But I'm not focusing on the big goal. I'm focusing on smaller bits of it. What else do we want to talk about? Another good reason to set deadlines is that it helps you beat Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fit the time allotted for it. And since we're talking about students, a great example is the summer reading list. These kids know that they have to read one of these books at the end of the school year, and they have 3 months to do it. But how many of them wait until the week before school starts, or even wait until school starts to read the book? So Parkinson's law means that work expands to fit the time allotted for it. If they have 3 months, it's going to take 3 months to get it done. So we're on to the third tip. I know we really went deep into setting SMART goals. So I'm glad you're still with me. The next step to stay motivated for students to set and achieve their goals is to write them down. 42%, you're 42% more likely to achieve your goal if it's written down. The reason being that writing your goals down allows you to become really clear on what you're trying to achieve. It also allows you to remember your goals. I can't tell you how many times I've set yearly goals, and if I'm not reviewing them daily, I want to review them daily, but sometimes I just don't, and I will forget that I had goals, a specific goals. So writing them down, reviewing them daily, so you remember what they are. You're going to be more likely to achieve them. If you forget them, then you're probably not going to achieve that goal. Create an action plan is number 4. We've gone through the goal setting process. You've made it a SMART goal, but do you really have a plan? Have you listed out the tasks that need to be accomplished to reach that goal and set deadlines for those tasks? So this is another great way to use your planner, is you map out all the tasks that need to be done to achieve a goal. You set deadlines, and then you write this in your planner. So again, you have the reminder. It's the purpose of a planner is to get it out of your head and onto paper, so you don't have to store it in your head anymore. It's really hard to remember everything. So utilize your tools, whether that's a digital calendar or a paper planner, somewhere to write information down that you can easily recall it, like you're making your own Google. Step number 5 is using verbs when setting goals. So we all know that a verb is an action word, and when you're goal setting, it's best to use a lot of action words. And using a verb noun structure is a really good template to follow. You may have a goal of getting an A in your math class. Using a verb, you can change that to study to get an A in math class. You put what you're doing in there to help you. It will help you create action and move forward. So we've talked about being really specific. Sometimes you've got to start big. You start big in the daydreaming part, and then to really reach the goal, you have to break it down. Break it down into short-term goals. I have a hard time with the word term after a while. I think I said term. Think of the big picture and then work backwards. For example, going to a specific college could be a big long-term goal that you can break down into smaller goals of taking specific classes, getting a grade point average, and doing volunteer work that may look good on your application. Number 7, to help students stay motivated, is to know when to get help. Reaching goals is going to be tough, but if you have help along the way, it is easier to accomplish some of these bigger goals. So I suggest that students make a list of their resources. So when they're in the moment of needing help, they're not trying to decide who can help them. They already have that list. And some examples may be parents, a tutor, a friend. I offer an individual program for students and a group program for students to teach them the skills to get organized, use their planner, and set up goals and digital organization. So always know if they know where they can get help when they need it, it's easier for them to access. And number 8 is stop and reassess. Stopping and assessing where you are with the goal can save you a lot of time and wasted energy. If you've been working towards something but your situation has changed, you may need to reassess the goal and see if it's worth pursuing. Maybe the time frame has changed or the goal is no longer relevant. It may be time to reevaluate and set a new goal. So number 9 in goal setting is identify obstacles. I love identifying obstacles and making plans to overcome those obstacles because they're going to appear. it might not, sometimes we're going to be surprised and we won't think of a certain obstacle, but having prepared for others will give us a sense of where we want to go. And some obstacles for students may be Zoom get-togethers in this day and age, the Zoom party, playing on TikTok, playing Minecraft. My son just got back into Minecraft. It's so weird. I thought that was long gone, but he's still playing. So planning for these distractions in advance will increase your success of succeeding. Create a plan for each obstacle that you identify. You might need to call for reinforcements and ask for help from someone on your list. And then number 10, one of the most important, I think, is progress, not perfection. Our lives change and our circumstances change. We learn something new every day. This means that even the best laid plans will deviate from the original path. Just because the end outcome doesn't look exactly like you envisioned, you have made progress, and that is something to be proud of. And then I'm going to add another 11. I think it's important for people to have fun with their goals. I mean, I think this goes in with relevancy, but if we're not having fun, is it really worth it? So setting goals that are relevant and suit your interests and your passions is really important. I know school's not always fun for the kids, but I think if they do some gamifying and goal setting, that they'll improve their chances of success. I think that's it. That all about student goal setting. That was a lot of information. There is going to be a replay if you need to listen to it again and take in that information again. I do have something else coming up. We've got Where Does Time Go on February 3rd. I'll put that link in the comments in case you want to attend that. I do also have a mastermind starting in February. It's a new group. I'm trying to gather 10 people who are ready to stay motivated and productive. There's one monthly mastermind call where two members per call will be in the hot seat. And the hot seat is where they can come to us with their challenges towards reaching their goals or not knowing what direction to go, how different ideas on systems they can use for productivity, or maybe they have a tech challenge trying to figure out the right apps and tech to use to get a goal, to accomplish their goals. In addition to the monthly mastermind call, there are 2 virtual co-working sessions. And the way that's going to work is that we will meet via Zoom. It's going to be a 90-minute session. The first 15 minutes, we'll talk about what we each want to accomplish. And then we'll work for an hour on mute, and then we'll come back at the end of the hour to see how far we got on our tasks. There will also be a Q&A session monthly where you can ask me anything, productivity related, technology related. I know a lot of people are coming to me right now trying to get their digital files organized. So that is another aspect we could cover during Q&A sessions. There will be a private Facebook group, and everybody will have an accountability buddy. If I get the 10 people in, everybody will be paired up with an accountability buddy. And that is a person who will check in with you. Either y'all decide whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, maybe better. So that's an added accountability bonus. We meet every Friday at 11 a.m. Central. So whether it's the mastermind, the co-working, the Q&A, that's all at 11 a.m. Central on Fridays. And it's $6.95 for the year. So this is a great way to get advice from other people, for me to help you learn. We start February 5th. I'd love to see some of you there. If you know of anybody who's interested or who is looking for accountability, please tell them about this and the group. And I hope to get 10 people so we can have fun with this mastermind. That's all I've got for you today. It was so good to see all of you, and I will talk to you next Tuesday. I forgot what the training is going to be on, but we are going to be talking about lists. I just remembered, as I said, I forgot. We're going to start talking about lists next month, and how to keep a master list, how to prioritize tasks, how to move tasks from your master list to your daily list and time block tasks. It's going to be a lot of fun. I love talking about task management. And Pallavi, thank you for watching. I'm so happy you were able to watch. Thank you again, and I will talk to you all soon.